Nestled in a quaint corner of southeastern Missouri, Saxon Lutheran Memorial stands as a beacon of history and hope. This unique site not only preserves the story of German settlers seeking religious freedom, but also serves as a vibrant living museum that celebrates culture, heritage, and community spirit.
So as part of the Fall Festival, it has developed over years. And one of the things that people always come back for and always mention are the live experiences that they get of a glimpse into history of how some of the old settlers would have done things back then. So it's a lot of history, but coming to life experiences so that people get just a glimpse of what it used to be like and how sometimes it was hard, a lot more labor intensive. But we use the Fall Festival to give people that experience, but also to let it grow and to bring awareness about Saxon Lutheran Memorial and where it's headed into the future as well.
Through these live demonstrations and historical experiences, Saxon Lutheran Memorial aims to educate the public about the cultural and historical significance of the early settlers, specifically the Saxon Germans, their struggles, and their way of life.
When they came over, they had no idea how to farm. They didn't know how to grow their own food. And so a little Presbyterian church up the street came over because they had come over from France earlier, and they said, "Can we help you? Can we help feed you? Can we teach you how to plant trees and how to grow your own food?" So when the Germans came over, they had different gifts and different trades that they brought over. But the one thing that they really had struggled with was the food. But the thing that we love around here, especially at the Fall Festival, is we try to amplify some of the things that came over, the woodworking, the blacksmith, a lot of the things that were really a part of their sustaining their life and developing what they had given up in Germany and coming over here to America, settling in the Frohna and Altenburg area and just really trying to recreate their homeland. They fell in love with the hills and all the trees because it reminded them of home. And so that's what we try to do here at the festival, is bring a little bit of that German aspect back, whether it's the German food or the German music and the German crafts, and trying to keep that alive is also part of the mission of the Fall Festival.
Now in its 42nd year, the festival serves as a crucial fundraiser to support the upkeep of historic buildings and advance the mission of the memorial. Visitors can expect a vibrant atmosphere filled with various vendors dedicated to preserving and showcasing traditional crafts.
Basically, we take apples, we get a mixture of red delicious, yellow delicious, and Jonathan, so it gives it kind of a sweet, and then the Jonathans are a little sour, so it kind of mixes it all together and makes it a good blend. So once it's pressed, then the liquid comes out with the apples, kind of getting the juice. So we kind of strain that out and we jar it. Originally, the cider press was originally done so that people could make apple cider vinegar. Vinegar was used a lot in various different areas as, a disinfectant. People drank it, they used it for cooking, things like that. So, but it is a tasty treat as well.
A lot of the trades that we grew up with, we took as more lifestyle, cooking, canning, processing hogs, and storing up food during the summer to get through the next winter. To see those trades still exist and active here, basically as a demonstration, but that was a way of life.
The festival offers unique opportunities to witness and participate in time-honored activities like making apple butter. Apple butter was used as a method to preserve apples so that they could be kept for longer periods, especially through the winter months. By preserving the apples, people ensured that they still had access to the vitamins contained in the apples throughout the year.
We started with apples that were regular apples off the tree. And we cut them up, poured them up, took the seeds out of them, you peeled them, and then you ground them up. Now, sometimes they put those apples in a kettle of water to make them softer so you could grind them, and sometimes they just ground them in a thing that would grind them.
About 15 to 20 years ago, the availability of apples became so scarce that they were considering traveling 100 to 150 miles to find them.
There were no apples to be had around, And so that's when all the ladies got together and thought, okay, we'll try doing it with applesauce, because otherwise we weren't going to make apple butter at all because we couldn't find the apple.
When they made apple butter with applesauce, they found that it worked, albeit with some slight differences in the process.
It's a little different process. You lose that one day of work, but when you start putting sugar in, you got to make sure that you get enough sugar in to cover the tang that the apples will have because they've been canned into applesauce. So we've now gone to most of the time using applesauce. I've still cooked it with regular apples if somebody's got an apple tree. But so in the morning we start out with applesauce. This kettle that you've been seeing today was put on the fire at 6 o'clock. And it started boiling around 8 o'clock. And so then you just keep stirring it the whole time. You can't stop stirring because then it'll stick. And if it sticks, then it burns, and then it's no good. The paddle has got a hole in it, and it's got a hole in it so the apple butter can pass through the hole, but the bottom of the paddle stays in the bottom of the kettle. So, and then about 10-ish or so, we put in a bag that's got star anise in it, and that's one of the spices that we use. Then around 11:30-ish, we'll start adding cinnamon and sugar, and there's a little bit of salt in it. And then we keep adding cinnamon and sugar until we get the taste right. And then once we have the water and the thickness to where we want it, then we'll put it in jars.
The rich history and meticulous process of making apple butter, a cherished tradition that's been preserved through the generations. What began as a necessity for early settlers has now become an annual celebration, a way to connect with our roots and savor the flavors of the past.